Alright, so it's been a pretty crazy 2 years since the last time I actually made a video, but you know, priorities change and you kind of get busy with other stuff, so here we are now. I decided to start making videos again, and I pretty much want to leave it where I kind of left off. Over time, there's been a few changes. Obviously, you can tell the car has a big wang now. It's got an NRG wing, 69 inches wide, and we did it for stability reasons, actually. And it is high because it has to be high because the slope of the roof causes too much turbulence over here, so the wing has to be up a little bit higher, otherwise it doesn't actually do anything. Also, it looks cool, and you can't really fault me for that. So also we put some Sparco seats in the cabin, and then we put it on coilovers, and I think we did a little bit of engine bay cleanup as well. So the plan is for this car now, since we built the engine, it's got fully forged internals, all that stuff, and the plan is now that we need to make it faster. And right now it's just running on the stock ECU, stock fuel rail, fuel pump, all that kind of stuff. And the problem is that it's limiting us. So what I want to do is pull the CT20B that's out of it right now and put a billet compressor wheel in it and upgrade the wastegate actuator so it'll be more stable, running higher boost. We are going to get a standalone ECU, probably a Link G4 plug and play, get the thing dyno tuned, and then before that, the supporting mods, we're going to have to get a fuel pressure regulator, pull the injectors out of this and put Supra side feed 550cc injectors, just because it's a very straightforward installation, and then put a Supra fuel pump, or maybe go with the AEM or a Walbro pump. Not really sure what I'm doing with that yet, but the first thing we have to do is pull the turbo, drain the coolant, pull the fuel tank out, get the thing on jack stands, and then pretty much we'll just kind of tackle it one thing at a time. So welcome back, and I hope that we actually start making more videos and keep this thing going. Another little change is I'm probably going to do a little bit more of a blog style, maybe just show you guys kind of what I do day to day, not day to day, but just on the weekends. Like in the summertime, we've started dirt biking. I have a dirt bike now, and just kind of bring you along for some of those adventures. We'll see what happens. But for now, we're just going to do it classic style. We're going to do a Frugal Garage video, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, fucking send it. First thing that we should do is probably, I'm just gonna take all the shit off the top, and then I'm gonna pull the turbo, because it does have a gasket leak. And what else do I have to do? Oh, I gotta drain the coolant. That's right. This doesn't make any sense.
It's almost just worth disconnecting the piping and like
flipping it over. I know, I just didn't think this would be this complicated. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Fuck. Yeah, so here's the problem with this car. We put the engine together and all forged, okay, cool, but then I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and just been driving this thing. It has forged internals, you know, the CT20, blah, blah, blah. We just had the boost cranked up, and that's it. The previous owner did a lot of the other stuff, like the intercooler and this bullshit right here, but thing is that I don't like any of this, and for the standalone ECU, I need to get rid of the AFM, get rid of this shit, and then run a speed density, I think is what they're doing, or a MAF sensor. And then, so while this is all apart, I want to actually fix stuff properly. the intercooler isn't mounted to anything. It just has one bolt holding it in, and it flops around, and because the sheet metal is too thin and the bolt broke, so I need to figure out some way to mount that. It's a side mount intercooler, and I'd like to keep it like that, and then the fan is in really bad shape, so I might put a different sort of more low profile electric fan with an actual shroud on it. I might 3D print something for that. And yeah, so hopefully we can get this all cleaned up. And another thing is, when I get the turbo out, I'd like to paint it, and I'm gonna put new studs in it with new bolts, and some of the bolts are missing, which I never realized, and I would like to take the exhaust manifold off as well, and paint that just to make it a little, I have header paint, so make it look a little bit nicer. I just want to tidy this engine bay up a lot. It's not going to be as fancy as, you know, some of those high horsepower builds and whatnot, but I just want it to be, I just want to get stuff like this out of here, so I'd like to try to find some sort of proper intake, maybe with an air box to actually pull air from the side and just make it, just tidy it all up. So we'll see what happens, but we'll keep on going. Turbo's out. The plan is with this is to change out this wheel on the front. Still got good shaft play. There's no back and forth and side to side. It's all good. This thing's in really good shape still, so gonna take this wastegate off, get a heavier duty wastegate actuator, and then put a billet compressor wheel in, and then hopefully it'll just make it a little bit more efficient. On these turbos, the biggest thing is this is actually pretty restrictive, and when you're running higher boost, you will get this opening on its own, so you'll kind of find you'll be using like a like an electronic boost controller or something, and it just won't go past a certain PSI for some reason. It's because this door is being pushed open, your wastegate's being pushed open by just the restriction in the exhaust. So running a heavier duty one will help a little bit. Well, now that the turbo's out, we will be probably just ending this video and just starting with a little update, and then the next video will be the actual rebuilding of the CT20V turbo that this car came with. This is a Gen 2 engine, but the Gen 3 came with the CT20B, which is a little bit more, from what I understand, is that it's a little bit bigger, can flow a little bit more air, but relatively the same as the CT26 that the Gen 2 came with. And then once that is done, we will continue with the fuel rail stuff and the fuel pump upgrading and that sort of thing. Haven't decided on the fuel pump yet. Really not excited to pull that fuel tank out, but it's gonna have to happen. So we'll end it there this time, and I hope that you guys will stay tuned for more videos when we actually get this thing going again. The standalone ECU that is coming for this is on the way. It's a Link G4 plug and play, and hopefully we will see this thing get dyno tuned in about a month or two, and hopefully we make a good amount of power. So I really hope that it's worth it, because this is costing a lot of money. So stay tuned and see you guys around.